Ahoy toy, welcome to Transfixed, the channel that can help you fix what has broke. This is a familiar fellow. We're looking at the War for Cybertron Siege Megatron. Again, I did a video about this guy before on my channel because as you can see, he looks a little different. I've customized him to be the Marvel Comics version of Megatron, hence the black helmet and the red ribs. Abdomen? I don't know. I'm revisiting him because I discovered this channel called Hobbies with Jose recently, and he did some cool customizations. He's way better than I am at this stuff, so you should check it out. But he did a anniversary version, the cel-shaded version of this guy. He stripped it apart, took it apart, painted the whole entire thing. Much more stuff than we do here on this channel. This is more of a quick and dirty. This is more like hobbies in a hurry. It's whatever I have in the house to work with and on my 1 hour of free time today to do. So I just want to go back to him because he did something cool with the weapon. So this guy, as you probably know, comes with this cannon, which in the vehicle mode is like this and tucks under the turret. And then in the robot mode, it folds together to be a sword, much reminiscent of the sword he comes with his G1 toy, which is cool. What he did was he mounted this on the back, but he actually cut the... what did he do? I think he put it in here, in this hole, and then he cut a middle piece out of the cannon and then sort of welded or glued it back together. Yeah, I don't have time for all that stuff. So what I did here is I just drilled a hole down lower on the backpack, and now this sits in here and looks like his, a bit more like his G1 self. And I also filled in the little square hole that for some reason is in the end of this gun with some putty. Looks like I didn't get it quite level, but I filled it with putty and painted over it, and a few other things. You can see here I tried to get the this battle damage off, and I wasn't very successful, so I decided, you know what, black is easy, just paint over it. And with a matte black on his leg, I think that it looks pretty good. It actually brings out more of the detail, and I'm going to paint that too. I just wanted to show you what it looked like and also finish up the paint around here. Now this is the complaint I have about this figure. I mean, like I did in all that video saying how much I like Earthrise, and I do. And War for Cybertron was a good start in that direction. They did I think four versions of this guy. This is the first one, and then they did the cel-shaded animation one for the anniversary, and then they did a Netflix version, which looks totally painted, but a lot more damage. And then I think there was also the premium finish version, might have been the newest one. I could be wrong. Anyway, I want to just talk about what I like about this, what I don't, and what I wish they had done, how I would have designed this, of course, with my armchair toy designing skills. To begin with, they had an interesting challenge here. This is a G1 Megatron in robot form, meant to look like his original cartoon appearance, maybe a bit like the toy appearance, but with a totally different alt mode. And I understand why they can't convert him into his original pistol, because you don't want a handgun in the toy aisle. I get that, unless it's a Nerf, which is also made by Hasbro, but I guess they're in bright colors, so it's okay. And I understand why they made him a tank. He's been a tank since G2, and I think it makes sense. Of course, if you're to interpret a gun as a vehicle, go with the tank. It's basically a rolling mobile cannon. Sure, I get it. But they just, they almost got there. This is like a 7 out of 10 figure with a potential to be a 10. And that's just what made me want to talk about it. So, paint-wise, head-wise, the head was perfect before I, painted it black and painted the eyes yellow. It was a great head sculpt. And the body is very good. The legs are great. The arms are okay. But it's mostly the vehicle mode, I guess, that's my complaint. Now, another thing I did try to change here was the hands. The weird thing about this figure is the hands don't fold all the way out. You can see they're kind of curled inwards a bit like this, And you would think that maybe just chopping off this tab, maybe that's what stops it. But no, that tab is actually just to help you transform it. It doesn't stop it, because I did clip it off over here, and it still doesn't get any more motion. And that's because I guess the pin is set here instead of in the middle, which is interesting because later on the Grapple and Inferno and Artfire here mold, they do have the hand that's rotated all the way around like this. I guess they had to open up the side here, both sides of the forearm to make that happen, so maybe that's why they didn't do it with Megatron. But if you wanted to fix that, you'd have to probably carve out a bit of this space here. I don't know if that's possible. And I guess this is where we'll talk about the Earthrise version, because later on they did that, and instead of this sort of, what they call an H-tank, I guess, Cybertronian tank, the Earthrise version made some interesting changes. I do like the Earthrise version of the torso. It looks more like the cartoon with the grill on the abs and stuff like that. The waist is better. I like that. I would take that. Everything else I would leave though, because he's got a way bigger backpack to make it like an Earth-style tank, and he has a weird head. I don't like the head. I don't know why they made it look like he's wearing a 50s hairdo. I just think that's a terrible, terrible head. So I would take the head, I would take the torso and the waist off of that one and put it on this guy. Anyway, other things though. These pieces here on the back don't need to be there, because if you open up this, well, of course, first of all, I would not have this silver rust, this battle damage. Nobody likes that as far as I know. But this backpack thing is pretty egregious. Again, I understand because of the way it turns into a tank, but the thing is, these hinges, it only has to go to here, where the edge of the hinge is. This part on the top is superfluous, and it doesn't do anything for the vehicle mode. So why not just angle this in and cut this? You could just take this off. Just take this off and have it this way, and then you wouldn't have this piece sticking up behind him. And you could have put the hole there for this cannon to go on his back if they'd thought of that. And the other thing is, like, he doesn't stand very well, but of course he's very back heavy with his backpack. But even if you sort of line everything up vertically straight here, I think that his feet should be angled a bit more forward. Like, they don't tilt forward or back. They do have a nice tilt this way, which is good. And he does have a heel, but it doesn't keep him up. He still falls over all the time. Like, very easily falls over. So I think if his foot had just been angled a little bit better, then you could avoid that. Now, I guess I got to transform him to get to my other complaints. Actually, not quite yet, because the paint here, this is again why I only painted it part way. You can see that the paint, he's got his G1 style red elbows here, but only on the inside, only on this piece. They did not continue the paint all the way around the back. So I just took some red paint and continued it around the back, so it's painted all the way around now. And I didn't do a very good job on this abdomen. This one's fine, but over here I kind of goofed. But anyway, that's just for the comic book. You wouldn't really want that there. And then I just added this bit of paint here that they missed today. This should have been red. The rest is painted on already, but for some reason they missed that red square, so I put that there. Red square, red square. But they did put red on his shoulders for no reason. This is here visible at the front of the tank, and it's also on his shoulders. I don't know why. He never had red shoulders. He's not supposed to have red shoulders. I don't get it. Oh, forgot to tell you the rest of the weapon. Sorry, I'm all over the place here, but so yeah, the reason this is detached is because this is held together like this, right? It goes back and forth. I don't know why there's this extra hinge here. You can sort of rotate these. It's not very easy, but I don't know why that exists at all. And this is the cannon for the tank. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. A lot of paint on here. I don't really need it though, but anyways. So what I did here was I just removed the screw from this and then pulled it apart. This goes all the way through. This plugs into there, but I've cut a chunk off of it. And the reason I did that is because I want to glue this together. Now here's a little segue. I put super glue on here. The CA, cyanoacrylate glue, didn't work. I put a little bit of model glue, didn't work. What I have found recently is this plumber's glue. This is for ABS. Well, it's ABS cement, and I realized, hey, wait a minute. Transformers are made of ABS. G.I. Joe toys are made of ABS. And this works great. Now this, you can just get this at hardware store. It's just ABS cement. It comes on with this ball, and it is yellow. So you don't want to use that big ball. You probably just want to use a Q-tip or maybe a toothpick to get it onto a small surface like this. And oh, it smells pretty bad. It is yellow. It stays yellow when it dries, so you want to be careful applying it. And if you get any excess, just wipe it off, or you might just scrape it off if you can still see it. So because you don't want all that yellow goo. Anyway, the idea was that to make it look like one of those I don't know what you call it, but that sword from Halo, right? The one that the Covenant guys use. So once this is glued together. The reason I chopped that was just to make it flex a little bit, and then you can get it around his hand. So if this is glued together, I mean, you don't have to glue it together, but otherwise it's going to fall apart quite a bit. And if this is glued like it was until I started messing with it, then he's got this kind of cool, Halo sword, right? The bottom half of this guy is actually quite good. I like the way that transforms, but this backpack is awful. So you got to do this, and this works pretty nicely. You probably know this is not a new figure, but you unlock this, and then that lets you go like that. But the cool thing is this whole joint here rotates in. The joint hides inside the top of the calf, and then this locks it in place and also tabs into the waist. So that's nice. I like that, and this tilts back. So that's a good back end of a tank. Sure, why not? Now where it gets silly is the arms. the cannon ends up in a weird place. The cool part is this is the top of the cannon in vehicle mode, but when it flips over to the bottom, this is the cannon in robot mode. It looks like his scope, you know, like his G1 cannon on the side that's visible. So I like that. I like that it's asymmetrical to give you, you know, this in vehicle mode and this in robot mode. That's pretty clever. But I don't understand why it ends up where it is. So, and this is weird too. Oh yeah, by the way, the Earthrise one puts little tabs here so that this doesn't go all the way up. It only goes up as far as it's supposed to, which is nice. So this backpack just... Oh, this is cool too. I like that he has this, the hammer of the gun sort of on his shoulders, like, and this piece just folds up. This is gone on the Earthrise version, but this folds up to make it more of the front of the turret. Pretty cool. And then this goes, oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, so that's how you're supposed to transform it. Alright. And then this kind of goes in here. I'm not too concerned about this because it's not the point of the video. I'm just mangling this, huh? Okay. Good enough. So, oh jeez. This has gotten loose for some reason, but that's unfortunate. Alright, so this is generally how it transforms. One of these is loose too. Okay, so this is what I don't get. So the idea is that this folds under here, right? And then this plugs in to make his turret. Why? Why would you do that? Why do you need that? You don't even need this piece at all. This is the cannon. Why would his fusion cannon not become the cannon on the turret of the tank? Why would you put it way back there? Just move it forward. I just don't understand. This is dumb. And there's even holes for it here. Now, the only problem is there's not as much clearance here. You can't actually make this work as it's designed now because there's not enough room. There's more clearance here in the forearms than there are on the shoulders, but that's just because they designed it that way. Why would you not just have the cannon fold here? And then you've got the cannon. Whoops. I don't understand this. And not have this dumb sword. You could even do that if... You could still have the sword if you want to. You could still put a filler piece back here if you want to. Of some kind. Even stick the gun back here. I don't know. Make it or have a hole here so you could plug it in and make a double gun. But you don't need this piece at all. You don't need a sword. Just put the cannon on the turret. I don't get it. And again, you can see here, if they had not had this piece here, I guess this is what... This barely locks into the body. I mean, I guess that little tab on there is supposed to kind of hold it in place. But I'm sure you could just put a tab here and have it tab into his chest there. And then get rid of this piece so it's not sticking up on his back. Right? And then on the Earthrise version, it's got a whole bigger piece on the front here for some reason. I don't think you needed that. And I actually like these little headlights on the front. This looks better to me than the Earthrise version. And then the Earthrise version, of course, it's, you know, it's like one big tread thing because it's looking more like an actual tank from Earth. I get that. And again, with the paint, why this battle damage thing? I mean, I guess they were trying it, and I don't think most people liked it. If you're going to do an extra paint app, though, paint taillights and headlights on cars and things like that. At least they did put the headlights on this guy. Paint this square. Paint... I don't... Just, you know, put that budget somewhere else. Don't... just don't do that. You could have a version that's like that, but don't make it the main one. And I can't believe that they've had 4 versions of this guy. I think it's 4. And not fixed any of these problems. None of these things are addressed. Well, anyway, thank you for letting me get this off my chest and watching this. That's my video. Check me out on Instagram for things that don't warrant a video. I've got pictures up there for lots of other Transformers and cool stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and good night.